it's ugly. I hate all the different colors. I'm one of those people like want all the gates to match. Yeah, I'm weird. Misty tells me that all the time. I'm weird.
I know the sign was given. It's in the way you move and in the sound of your heart. We tend to fall together, fall in love, and still in the end we'll fall apart. So it's hoping that we stay close, but it's the life that we chose. It takes time to get it right. Sleepless days and nights. We just need a little more. Just a little time for you and I.
We're out doing chores on a cold morning. The sun is kind of coming up, so it's a beautiful day. We moved the sheep over to the U, what we call the U, if you remember where the U is. That's where they were over here, and then we ran around by the pig forest all the way around here. Got some really good green grass on it, and also just some stockpile grass. We have not pushed hard to cut. It's been about 2 months or 2.5 months since they were over here. Only bad thing about being over here is I have to run a hose. I have to go get more hoses, and I think they're all frozen still. So we'll go get the charger, the hose, and I'll maneuver them over here. I love this area of our land. We did fix our dam. I don't know if y'all remember, we had a break in our dam about a year ago. It's taken this long to get to it. Because of that, we're starting to see some water come back to where it originally was. It originally took under, all these popcorn trees were pretty much underwater. Bad thing is, I've got to build this road back that goes to the sheep. This is a road that had washed out at one time. It hasn't had water really on it other than when it rains real heavy. But now we're starting to see water again. So we may come in and take the original creek that actually feeds the spring-fed lake and cut this out and redo it. We need to be able to get to our animals, and that's land we utilize. We may have to figure out that, but kudos to the fact that our lake is doing like it's supposed to do. Let's check on the pigs' water. They still have water. We're having to watch the waters because I still have no way to run water right now. But I got to get water again to the sheep. So what I guess I'll have to do is probably figure out how to get some buckets full of water from the house, put it on the Ranger, and just bring it back here to get by for the next few hours or the next day or so. Sheep don't drink a lot of water. And what I've noticed is our animals in this cold weather, in this rainy weather, they have not drank hardly any water other than just a little bit here and there. So that's really helped us not have to worry about getting so much water moved. All right, now to get up here, find a hose, move their charger. We need to move. We're gonna set the net up for the cattle over on the other side. We're gonna actually use these sheep nets to set their fence up over in a ryegrass patch. They still have some hay right here, so we don't want to waste it. What we're gonna do is go and set their paddock up, but not actually put them in it until they actually eat all that hay. It's a beautiful day. Aiden's going to turn the water on. Actually got enough hoses, but it's not enough to actually reach the net. It's like 15 foot short. It's like right there. And there's where the bucket is, right there. And they'll be rotating in the next few days because I don't have hay right here. So they'll rotate within the week. So basically I'll probably have to only fill it up once or twice else more this week. And we'll be able to rotate them. And once we rotate them again, it'll actually be long enough. So it's just really one move. I found an extra hose and I need one more, but that one doesn't have an end on it. It's been cut. So I'm not rerunning hoses to do it. So hopefully we'll get some water going. We still got water going on at the cows, and it's not even running. The horses' water did run, but it's right in the direct sun all day. The one for the cows is kind of in the shade, so I don't even know if we're gonna even get water. We might be carrying it from the house, which is all the way over there. So we'll move water. We gotta walk it about 15-20 foot. How that water is, you're gonna really enjoy fishing this year. This has always been the real shallow area, and Aiden always uses a topwater frog, and he is a better fisherman over here. Are you kidding me? Oh! Don't let me. I gotta try to dump it right now. What we may do, I might use that big water bucket that the horses have.
Oh, good luck with that, buddy.
Just fill up a piece of it when they go down. Did you ever try to put water in it? Aiden does really good fishing right here. Hate to admit it, but he actually beats me every time we fish right here. He uses the top water frog, but this makes this a little bit deeper, so that might be good for fishing. What do you think? It'd be good for snakes right there, and moccasins and alligators. So that will be fun to watch out for. But this is a lot deeper than it usually is, huh?
You could walk out right there.
Yeah, I know where that high grass was is where you could walk. So the dam is actually fixed, so that's really good. Yeah, see, all this you could easily walk in just a few weeks ago. Should have been the whole time, but was having issues with the dam. A year later, we're actually seeing that it's actually working. Here's this spigot right here that sits straight in the, it's not had sun on it all day. So let's see if we have some water. I don't hear it. Oh, I do hear it. Oh yeah. Hey mama. Go ahead and moving them into the main forest, and we're not opposed to it. The only thing that scares me is how she's going to do with the other mama, how the piglets are going to do with the other piglets, if the mamas are going to get really aggressive. So we've waited just a little bit. We're going to wait for a pretty day. It's a beautiful day, but where it's warmer, where all the family can come out, and we can come out really early, because right now it is getting later in the day. We're having to come out and do these chores late just because that's when the sun come out. So it's later in the afternoon, and I don't want to jeopardize that now. We keep saying we're fixing to process these two pigs. We're letting them grow a little bit more. He's actually looking good, just like his brother now. So we may, I don't think we're gonna do them both at the same time, but it's only gonna be about a month and a half between them. We're gonna try to skin this one out completely, not do any scalding on the big pink one, and then we will kind of, that'll help us tell us, do we want to try to scald him and just break him down, or do we want to skin him out? So it kind of gives us an option to where every one we've ever done, we've just scalded, and I like that because it does make the process of cleaning and cutting your primals and making all your cuts really easy. However, the scalding process is something we don't do on farm just because we don't have the contraption enough to get them above the fire, and I don't want to go through the dumping process and all that. It's just too much for me right now. However, if we see that the skinning is not what we like, because the skinning is easier, we can do right here on farm just like we do a deer. The only problem is it's a lot messier when you come to primals versus the skin on, doing a scald situation and basically just break down into primals. It's a lot cleaner, a lot easier. So I think they have both got benefits. So we're going to see which one we like best. We've never skinned one out here. Now we've skinned hogs out here, but pretty much for just sausage only, some feral hogs and things like that. But to have hogs that we're going to process and break down the primals, like this big boy, I can easily hang him and I can easily skin him out here. But problem is I don't have a cooler or a situation big enough to put him in to where he can stay in haft or in whole. We're trying to build our cool room, but we have yet to get the guy here to help us do the actual woodwork part of it. We could do some building stuff, but I don't trust myself in actually building a room of that caliber. So I'm gonna need some help doing it. So I have a carpenter coming to help me do that, but it's kind of like the barn that we still don't have. It's just on hold. We could actually easily skin him out and his brother. I gotta find a cooler big enough or a freezer big enough to lay him in. I don't want to ice bath them, and I don't want to quarter them, which I might have to quarter them, but I really don't want to quarter them while they're warm or while we just get them out. I would like to keep them in a whole or in halves because it does make it easier to break it down when they're frozen. I get all my cuts really good, and it's just a better process. But if we have to quarter them, we have to break it down, we'll go ahead and break them down into primals right after we butcher. It's just not that's just not ideal for me. I like them when they're cool, not frozen, but cool, to where it makes it a lot easier to actually make the cuts, break them down, make it easy. Because again, I'm no butcher, but I think I did a good job on the last hogs, but it was because, you know, they were not frozen, but they were very cold. So it allowed me to make the cuts, take my time, not moving, makes it easy. This is my buddy. He keeps getting out. This is the one that he'll come. What he'll do is
come under. There's a little hole right there, which there's nothing in this side, so it's no harm, no foul. But he'll come out and then he'll run and jump through this hole or this hole, and he'll come out and just hang out. So in the mornings I'll come and do chores and just galloping all the way around here and playing around, and he never lets me pet him though. So we've not become real good buddies yet, but he's been funny. He's actually almost getting too fat to jump through the red gate though. He struggled this last yesterday. He didn't get out this morning, it was too cold. But yesterday he jumped through and could barely fit. So he is he's getting a little too much weight on him to jump through. We were gonna go with the smaller panel gates on here. We just couldn't find them because you can't find anything nowadays. So we went with this. It works out fine because the mamas are in there. Even if the babies get out, they're not going far.
Ooh, on this road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time.
This will not fit in that. That's 12 foot. That's 12 foot. So that means we're gonna have to let these chickens out. I'm glad I got a chicken catcher here. He's gonna be the runner here because this grass is just not real strong right here. So we need it stronger, and the best way to do it, see if you notice in the front yard, I don't know if you can tell, this is solid green, but that's where we rotated the chickens and ducks before, so we need that in our fields. We're fixing to take the roosters out of here, and they'll go into the greenhouse, the big high tunnel right there, the caterpillar tunnel, excuse me, and they'll start cleaning up some of the old broccoli because they have no other purpose other than fertilization, and then from there we're gonna try to sell them, or we'll dispatch them one way or the other, because we have about 6 roosters in there. Too many. This area we'll move the cows on. We're getting very close to the end of deer season. It ends pretty much this month, so we need to try to kill a deer still. That's you, buddy. Take your bow out there if you wanted to too.
I can't shoot a bow.
So we need to try to kill at least one by the month end, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. We have enough meat, but I would have liked to have had 1 or 2 deer in the freezer, but we didn't really have anything big enough come out this year, did we, A? And I didn't really hunt as much. Aiden got to hunt a lot more than I did. So enough talk, it's getting cold. Let's get these ducks moved, then the chickens. I'm one of those people that I'm OCD. I want everything looking somewhat decent on your farm, even though it's a working farm. I cannot stand that plastic pool. I can't stand it. Everything about it I hate, but it is absolutely the cheapest way to have a duck pond, because they need water, but you don't want to give them something bigger, make a mess. You don't want to pay $300 or $400 for a feed trough that looks better, that's black or that's green, that matches. But I cannot stand it. But for $6, it does what it's supposed to do. I just have to get over the ugliness of it. So I'm gonna dump this water, get it cleaned out, put new fresh water in it. But man, it's ugly. I hate all the different colors. I'm one of those people like want all the gates to match. Yeah, I'm weird. Misty tells me that all the time. I'm weird. This is the hardest part. You gotta move these dumb chickens. And so we know they're gonna get out of that because we can't swing it into the gate, so we're gonna have to lift it up. But I'm hoping if we put some feed right around their little buckets here. And this area, it has dirt. It had quality grass, but it's been torn up by the horses. And also it's where the chickens are. So we're gonna start them right here where this grass is, but you see there's like a hole right here. That way they can work, and they're gonna work alongside the ducks, and they're just gonna move all the way down. Till then, once we get to the end, we're gonna turn them around and circle them right back and do the other side. This is a shoulder workout? Yeah. All right, now get on the front, pull again. This is stupid, but it's working. Crazy stupid. All right, now let's ease it down. You gotta ease those wheels back. Yeah, I know. Oh. Now we got this in here. Now we gotta get the chickens back.
Hold on, I'm trying to set it up straight.
That'll hold it.
Break.
It could. That cracked.
Probably break.
So run that.
First batch of traditional cheddar cheese. I'm following step-by-step instructions from this book right here. This has been a great teaching book. Here goes nothing, traditional cheddar cheese. Here is 2 gallons of milk. I'm about to add my culture in. This I got from Azure. It's gonna be my culture for traditional cheddar cheese. The culture in now. I will add in my culture and cover the milk for 45 minutes. And it needs to stay at about 86 degrees. Excalibur dehydrator is right over there. And I'm going to put the milk in there and leave the front cover off so it gets some heat that's warmer than room temperature. The cover is going to be off so it's not going to be too warm, and we're going to put that covered in there for 45 minutes following the instructions. I'm not going to tell y'all step by step. This is not an instructional video. I've got to first make sure that the cheese is going to turn out exactly like I want it, but I'm doing the first steps. Here we go. Fingers crossed it's going to turn out right.
It doesn't fit.
It does not fit. I thought it was gonna go, but it is obviously not gonna fit in there. What I'm gonna do is put a lid over this, and then I'm gonna just wrap it in towels to hold that heat, because my idea is not gonna work.
So it's the next morning. What's going on?
Well, we are flipping and adding 50 pounds of weight this time, and it's got to stay for 24 hours.
So how long was the other set?
12 for 40 pounds for 12 hours.
All right.
The first set of weights was 10 pounds for 15 minutes, and then I took it out and flipped it, and then we added 40 pounds for 12 hours, and today we are doing 50 pounds for 24 hours. So this is just the next step. Yesterday was an all-day process, and like I mentioned to y'all before, this is not an instructional video. This is just showing y'all what we're doing. After 24 hours completes, because we just flipped it, in between each weight add, you flip the cheese, which is what y'all saw me just do. Because the smaller press was smaller than the pan, it kind of creeped up around the side. So I cut this off, but Colby tasted and he said it tastes like cheese. So we're good there.
And I think what you're doing though, with all the weight when you're doing the pressing,
it's compacting it in.
But I think, we were worried about the wax. I think that's going to help the wax not adhere to the cheese to a point where it's pressing into it, because you're doing such
hard compaction.
Yeah, you're really compacting.
Well, this is considered a hard cheese, but it is very lengthy in the process. So even after it's done 24 hours with the 50 pounds, we still have to wait 2 to 5 days before it to dry. Then I have to wax it. Then it has to go in 50-degree cheese cave, which is actually just our little mini refrigerator that I got for my birthday. It will have to stay in there for 3 months, so that's the aging process, but you have to wax it because you don't want it to dry during the aging process. So it is kind of like a whole big deal. I had to do a lot of studying and reading, but if it turns out, then that's going to be great. This is, I believe, is a 2-pound block of cheese. When I'm done with it, 2 gallons of milk will make 2 pounds. I was thinking 5, but it's actually 2.
Well, let's get the rest of these on here.
Really probably needs
Should have been
to
the opposite
somewhere
way.
else.
Probably should have went the opposite way too, but heavier weight on bottom.
Okay, we'll do that. 24 hours is up, and that means our next step is to take the 50 pounds off, and let's take a look and see
You want to help
what our cheese looks like.
So you know you're gonna be working out this morning too, huh?
Guess so. All right, so let's take a look. I already loosened those up. All right off the bat, I see I don't love this. So the weight is insetting this in, and I'm getting some extra off. And I don't want that to be on my final product for when I wax. But you have to say that is absolutely beautiful. So what I'm just gonna do is the same thing that I did yesterday, and I'm just gonna come through and very easily take this little lip off. I don't want to cut into my cheese though. So this is my final block of cheese. I wish I could have gotten my cheesecloth a little bit smoother on it, but it's homemade cheese. It doesn't really matter, and we're just making it for ourselves. All in all, I'm really pleased with that, but now is drying time. So what I'm gonna do is I just put a clean piece of wax paper down on basically like a cake holder, and I'm just gonna cover it up, and it's gonna sit for 2 to 5 days until it's dry to touch, and when it's completely, and it's almost there, so I'm thinking probably in 2 days will be good. Then I will take it and I will wax it, and it will go in the cheese cave, which is basically just our mini refrigerator set on, it's not on its coldest setting, it's on the warmest setting to be cold. Does that make sense? So that's where it's set at. I've got a thermometer in there, and now we just wait. So we're waiting 2 days on this. I will wax it, and then we'll wait 3 months, because the longer you wait, the sharper the cheddar will get, and it is a long process. It was a whole day's worth of work, but we're crossing our fingers that it's gonna turn out good, it's gonna taste good, and it will be well worth it.